Question everything in pursuit of your purpose. Ask yourself, what if?
Well, good morning out there, Pursuit of Purpose audience. I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the live show, What Are We Doing series. Chuck, what's our topic for today?
Our topic is hope versus discipline.
Hope versus discipline.
The comfortable lie that we live.
Yes. So it's a fascinating thing. We as humans, we think about hope as though it's this wonderful thing.
Sure.
You know, a person, I've heard it said, and many of the authors that I love talk about hope. And it's said that a person can live without food for X number of days or months or whatever.
40, according to our Lord.
A person can live without water for X number of time.
Mm-hmm.
However long.
I think it's 3 days.
However long it is.
And not that you'll probably die immediately, but it gets real complicated.
A person can live without air for a very, very, very short period of time.
Seconds.
But it is thought that a person can live without hope less than a second.
Yes.
That's the idea behind it.
Right.
But I'm going to challenge that thought, because what we believe in and what we think of in the concept of hope, I think is erroneous.
Okay. I
think that we have adopted this fantastic view of hope that is actually detrimental. We'll have some discussion. I look forward to hearing from you in the audience.
Yes.
If you're joining us today, I saw Bo Martin is out there. Thank you for joining us today. I'm always proud to see you on the show, but the challenge is this, and we're actually going to take this in a little bit of what would seem like a modern political way for a few minutes.
Okay.
But the challenge is that we view or use the word hope in a way that is a lie. It is dishonest.
Yes.
And if we carry it out in the way that it's used, it becomes a victim's narrative.
Right.
It becomes an excuse. It becomes a foundation to build a life of inactivity and no accountability.
Yes.
No responsibility.
Right.
Well, I'm just hoping things will get better.
Right.
I'm hoping that this job will be better.
I hope one day, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
You know.
So we use hope as an excuse to relieve ourselves of the commitment to action. So the challenge is that if we're going to be successful, if we're going to attain any volume of wealth or any level of success, if we want to look back and at the end of our days have our life be eulogized in a positive way, we can't have lived on hope.
Not hope alone.
No, because hope, in the way that we're discussing it here, is just an excuse not to act. And you won't create anything that way.
Right. And I'm afraid to say we have evidence of that all over the place.
Yes.
These days, that there are folks who are living without the complement of hope, and that is discipline. And not just to set goals, but to have a plan on how to achieve those goals in the hope that they will bear some fruit one day. I think too often, you're right, Rob. I think too often folks just sit and hope it comes to them.
Hope it becomes reality when it's paired with action. Hope gives you a direction, and that's from Bo Martin. And that's exactly right. And what you're referring to, Bo, in the way you used it, is more closely akin to faith.
Yes.
And faith with works, which is the biblical instruction that we're given.
That's right.
That faith without works is dead.
Right.
It produces nothing. And what we've noticed, and if you pay attention to what goes on around us, people use hope as an excuse not to work.
Yes.
They become accustomed in their mind to believing that if they can just hope for it, they can rest in the comfort that they don't have to take action.
Right.
They're not responsible because they have hope.
Right.
They're not accountable because they have hope.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're afraid if I'm proactive, I'm going to be held accountable. And
Bo's being funny. He says, "I hope not to work one day." Well, I actually hope that you never find a day where you don't work.
Yes.
So,
That's
because
right.
that means that you never have a day where you're not creative, not productive, and not committed to being your best self. And I don't think you'll ever want that day.
No.
You're my
No.
son, and I know that growing up with me and around me, and I've seen you, and you will never be satisfied unless you're creating.
That's right. That's right.
Work at fishing. Yeah, see, that's work. That's a way of work.
Whatever the occupation is, which fishing will be a great occupation for some people for sure. The hope is we're going to catch some fish today, but they're not going to jump in the boat.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And fishing's a great example because it takes a kind of a ridiculous amount of work to create a successful fishing excursion.
Yes.
So that's a great thing to talk about, like using fishing as an example. You don't just hope you have a good time fishing. No, you prepare for it,
Right.
you work for it,
Right.
and then you work after the fact to clean up the mess you made.
Absolutely.
So it requires a lot of discipline
Absolutely.
to be a good fisherman.
And it's what I mean, of course, people
Yeah.
hope to get, catch a good mess of fish.
Yes.
But if you put all those other components into place, hanging out with friends, getting some sun, just the art of fishing, all the lures and all those things, well, you're already having fun. It's already a productive day, whether you catch fish or not. And I guarantee you, those who are fishing lovers would rather be fishing than doing anything else. So,
hey, Josh, thanks for joining the show. David Calcano, thank you for joining the show. It's good to see you guys. Hope all is going well for you. Thank you all for joining us today. The discussion is about the contrast between discipline and what we use as the concept of hope. So I'm going to challenge that our concept of hope is flawed, that the true measure of hope that we want to have is a disciplined version of hope that actually equates more to faith, faith with commitment, faith
Yes.
with work.
What our subheading is the comfortable lie that we live. Well, one of the cousin words of comfortable is conformed, and that's biblical.
Yeah.
We're told to not be conformed to the pattern of this world, and the pattern of this world, I hate to say, is to be non-productive and lazy. We're to be transformed, which means in order to be transformed, you have to be proactive. You have to be a doer. And yes, hope can be a contributor towards some kind of vision. This is kind of where we're heading. This is what we would like, the outcome we'd like to see. But we can't be conformed, because we often say in our training, conformity is death.
Absolutely.
Transformity is life.
So David Calcano says, proud of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. The other thing that goes along with comfort that equates to death is stagnation.
Yes.
Anytime we become comfortable or desirous of comfort or seeking comfort as our main focus in life, we don't realize it, but we're actually saying we desire to stop living,
Yes.
because the evidence of life is growth, and the evidence of growth is discomfort.
Yes.
There is always pain where there is growth.
Right. Right.
So
Probably many of you out there work out to some degree, whether it's just walking, pedaling, lifting, and you're creating under your control. You're creating a measure of discomfort, and if it's done properly and proper body mechanics, there'll be growth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. And so that to me, and in the hopes of what? I'm going to be a little healthier tomorrow than I was yesterday. Okay.
yes. So a few years ago, we had a big presidential campaign, and the slogan of this campaign at the onset, and it was a historic campaign, made history all over the world.
Mhm.
It was talked about everywhere. We're still talking about it right now.
Here we are.
But the slogan was fascinating to me, even in the moment when it happened. And when the slogan came out, it made, people talk about being cringy or being, cringeworthy or whatever. This slogan was cringy to me.
Mm.
And the slogan was 2 words or 3 words: hope and change.
Mm.
That was the slogan that was sold to the American people to elect a president. And what I found fascinating about that was it was built on this concept of not hope with responsibility,
Right.
not hope with work. It was the concept of hope with comfort, hope with pure reward without the accountability of work.
Yes.
And I saw this thing happen in this moment with our nation where this idea or ideal swept across, and people saw this possibility that, well, what it seemed like anyway, it seemed like they said, well, if I commit to that, I get to do less and receive more. And that filled me with disgust.
Yes.
It filled me with a little bit of fear and disappointment.
That's right. Because most of us who are reasonable thinking people realize that anybody who bought into that is going to be in a rate of decline.
Yes.
And it won't work. As a matter of fact, I recall being, a fairly politically active person at that point, paying attention and all this. The promoters of that slogan, if you will, were asked for definition. They couldn't do it. They couldn't tell you what they meant by hope and change. It just is.
Yeah.
It just is. No. What does that mean? Hope for what? Change for what? And they couldn't. Either they couldn't, or they were very careful not to.
So Yoo-Hoo, thank you for joining us today. Yoo-Hoo says, I survived a serious health issue. One of my friends told me God spared me to do great things. I believe that's probably true.
Yes.
And what it'll require of you is work, commitment, focus, discipline, faith.
That's right, which is probably what you did in response to your diagnosis, to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's going to be your medical regime. Here's going to be your activity, maybe your diet. And that's probably, our idea, our hope for you is that you had positive change.
And Yoo-Hoo says, I'm wondering, what are the great things, and will I know? I think that's a fascinating question. I think that it's most likely the great things are probably not in your consciousness when you're doing them. Most of the time, I think the great things that we do, that we do for others, or that we do in life, we don't realize it in the moment that we're doing it.
Right.
We see it later. Oftentimes, the great things that we do are viewed posthumously after we've left this life, but they are no less great.
Right.
And many times, they seem small in the moment. Those little tiny things that require discipline, that require work,
right,
that require commitment to your integrity, your character, and your purpose.
Right.
Those little things add up to those great things that we don't see in the moment.
I have the idea of cultivation. You plant the seed, and then you start to cultivate it, and then you may not ever see the full fruit. It's kind of like, it's like raising children who raise good children. Well,
right.
I may not see the full fruit of my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren, but I like to think that I'm contributing to their greatness.
So we've got Space Madness. Hadn't seen Space Madness in a while, but glad you're with us today. Thanks for joining. And he says, it's my favorite phony Christians. Blame the homeless for being homeless. You've never heard us blame anybody. I don't blame anyone for anything. I allow everyone to take responsibility for where they are.
Yes.
I mean, that's your privilege. You can blame whoever you want if that makes you feel better about yourself. But the truth is that we are all responsible. We are all going to be accountable for whatever we want or whatever we do, whatever we're willing to work and commit to.
Right.
So it's okay.
That's a fascinating word, responsibility. I was just listening to a little piece of my book on that today. And a leader, this is what was one of the subjects, and we talk about this in our leadership training. A leader takes responsibility for the success or failure of the program, but especially the failures. If it's not working, a leader says, even if it was somebody else's action, I'm their leader. I take a big portion of this responsibility because that's the only way things are going to get better. So if homelessness is a subject that you're interested in, hey man, go for it. Take responsibility.
So Space Madness says Jesus would disavow your teachings and lifestyle. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't speak for Jesus because I didn't walk in his place. I didn't live in his life.
Right.
I don't know what Jesus would say exactly about who I am, what I am, and my lifestyle. I am, however, committed to living the best I know how and can, according to what I hope and believe his will is for me
That's right.
and how I can be a blessing to everyone and anyone I come across.
Mhm.
So, Space Madness, I pray the same for you. And I hope that you're blessed. I believe that you deserve blessings. I believe that you deserve to know God's will and purpose for your life, and you deserve the reward that comes with aligning yourself and working towards it. You who says, I want to know, LOL, if I'm dead, I won't seriously, though. I just want to be a blessing to others. Yeah. And that's a wonderful commitment to make, to become and stay in a place of blessings towards all those you come across. And that's something that Chuck and I live committed to, that we want everyone who comes and goes in and out of our life to be better off than they were when before they got here.
Yes.
And I know, I mean, you're right. I mean, you definitely want to know, but the unfortunate truth is that we don't get the privilege of knowing all the time. We just have to be committed that we are constantly investing. We are constantly sowing seeds of positivity and growth into others' lives, so that the return on that investment will grow with faith.
So words that Rob used perfectly, a better, growth, ROI, the measurement is subjective. I don't know that measurement. I just know that my job is to deposit toward it. That to me is the proper use of hope. And my hope is that a difference will be made. Again, subjective measurement. I may not even see the fruit of that. I think that was mentioned by one of our contributors today. Is like, yes, I'd love to know what my grandkids and great grandkids turn out to be. But I can imagine it. Maybe that imagination motivates me to behave toward them in a certain way. Kindness and motivation, and and promotion of their skills. Because I have to then believe that one day that's what it's going to become, and that keeps me in the game. It keeps me part of hopefully a positive influence in their lives.
So Ward Johnny Blunt 46B or 468, I'm sorry, says preachers has a responsibility for leading his church to the truth and not just for the money. That's absolutely true. Can't disagree with you in that at all. Have no disagreement. At the same time, I'm going to say this. I personally, I don't put myself in a place of judgment of another person as best I can. I avoid things and people who don't align with my convictions. I avoid those things, those circumstances or people. And at the same time, I don't place myself in a seat of judgment on someone else, because I don't want the judgment that they'll face to be brought on me.
That's right.
I mean, according to what I can figure out in the Bible, in my puny little mind, and what I can understand is that if I call someone else wrong, or if I say that someone else is in sin and put myself in the place of judge of them, then I become responsible for their measure of judgment.
Yes.
And I don't want that. I got enough problems on my own.
Right.
So
Right.
I work really hard against that, because in my human nature, I definitely am tempted to say, oh, that they're wrong.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah.
But that is something that I don't want any part of.
I don't think that we can completely separate ourselves from the assessment business. I see things often in other people and in myself, but let's just say we're looking outwards, and I have to make an assessment. Is that how I would have responded? Is that how I would have participated? And if the answer is yes or no, well, then I get a chance to do better when it's my turn. Does that mean that I have any impugning thoughts toward them? Absolutely not, because they're just doing their best trying the moment too, which I'm pretty sure I would have done a worse job than them, if left to my own devices. But the beauty is I get to learn from other people, and hopefully I make mistakes that people can learn from me. Like, oh, don't do it the way he did it. Do better than him.
So Trippy Talk says this live has broken many rules. I've reported you. I don't know of any rules that we've broken, but thank you for looking out for other people, I guess, if we're breaking rules.
Thank you.
Yoo-Hoo says, I work with the elderly. And remember, Yoo-Hoo wants to know how they're having an impact on people.
Okay.
So I work with the elderly. When I told them that I was having knee surgery, they were all, I'm not sure, shimming too, or scheming. let's see, find a way to move in. Oh, they wanted you to move in with him. I get it.
No.
I get it. That's awesome. Well, let's see. Trippy Talk 9999 has reported us, they say.
Okay.
So bless your heart.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say to you,
I
but
don't know.
congratulations.
Hey.
I hope that works
Yeah.
out in the best way you want it to.
Mhm. But thanks for spreading the good news about What Are We Doing Now show. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Hopefully we'll get some more listeners.
So, Yoo-hoo, I think you found something that's telling you you're doing good. If they want you to move in with them, that's definitely a good sign that you're
Yeah.
having a positive impact on them. Stay the course.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes. And thank you for your interest and activity in our elderly. Absolutely. The generation we should be honoring at every given time in this world, definitely in our country.
So, Ward Johnny Blunt 468 says there are preachers daily that are being found for the false word of God. False preachers are here. Well, that's probably true,
And
but
you
the
know,
less attention you pay to them, the less audience they have, and the
Mhm.
less grandeur they get to enjoy.
right.
So the best way to cure that is just don't pay attention to them.
That's right. You know, and it sounds like you are a student of Scripture. Go back and study. Go start with the Old Testament, but definitely by the time we get to Christ in the New Testament, there were warnings and there were suggestions on how to handle false teachers, because there's going to be false teachers.
Yeah, and the best way,
Nothing new.
yeah, exactly. The best way is to just take away the audience,
Yeah,
stop being a part of it.
there you go.
And I mean, yes. And Yoo-hoo says, Ward Johnny, there are bad apples in every profession. Boy, that's a fact. Hey, Peyton Martin, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining the show. Hey, Peyton, we're talking about the difference of hope versus discipline and how people use the concept of hope as a comfortable lie, more like a wish or a fantasy, rather than living in discipline to create the life that they want.
Yes.
And that's another one of my children, for those of you out there that don't know it. That's two of my beautiful kids that have
Yes.
joined the show today. And thank you both for being here. Bo is on here, and now Peyton. Proud of all my kids,
Absolutely.
but sure good to see you on our live program today.
Yep.
And I will say this about my kids, both Peyton and Bo that have joined the show today, both of them work their little tushies off to work towards creating the life that they want for themselves.
Good.
And both of them are seeing the benefits of that lifestyle. They are not living in the lie that is hope.
Right.
They are living in the truth of
Right.
their own discipline and creation.
That's right. Rob, I got the privilege this weekend of spending an entire evening with a big chunk of my family. We had a wedding in our family. And so it was a good reason for a lot of us to gather to celebrate this young couple, one of which was a relative of ours. But I can tell you, every one of the young people, that generation in our family that was there, they're all productive. Every one of them. They're all career people. They have good relationships. They're all builders. And we were just us as the gray haired generation was just standing around just bragging on them the whole time. And they know they're loved, and that's not in doubt at all. But we were able to actually point out evidence, ask effective questions.
That's right.
Tell us more about this. Tell us more about that. And they had answers. So I hope that's in your family. I hope that the young people you see coming up in their teens, 20s, and 30s are impressing you the way we were impressed this weekend. So I'm glad to hear Rob talk so highly about his children. Some of which I get to see from time to time, and they're beautiful people. And so I wanted to boast on mine a little bit too, that they are out there. There are good, productive people in
That's right.
generations that we think we should doubt. Don't doubt. It's there. They are there.
Peyton says, I agree. A lot of people just hope and wish for things instead of working for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's worse is they don't just hope and wish for things, they expect it. They have an attitude of entitlement and belief
Yes.
that if they hope for it enough, you owe it to them.
Yes,
And that, to me, is disgusting.
it is.
And that
It
puts
is.
me in a temptation of judgmental thinking.
I do judge thinking like that.
So you who
Blame me, shame me. I don't care.
you who says discipline is a habit. I can hope to lose weight. I know that discipline leads to a goal. That's a fact.
There
That is
you
a
go.
great way to
There
put
you
that.
go.
Thank you. Well put.
Man.
That's exactly what we're saying here. Discipline is the deciding factor in results.
Yes.
Hope is a lie that just perpetuates your comfort and excuses your lack of responsibility, accountability,
Right.
and commitment to effort.
Right.
Let's see.
You know
Fahad
what?
Ali, good to see you. Thanks for joining the show. Rob Smith.
One of the root words of the word discipline is disciple.
Yeah.
And a disciple is actually a servant. So if you have a goal and you serve yourself and your self expectations to achieve that goal, you'll win. You will grow. You will get better. You will have growth. You will definitely have things that you can share, wisdom, experience. So be a builder, be disciplined, because you're not going to keep it. You're not that kind of people. You are sharing type folks. You want others to profit from the things that you gather.
So I'm going to ask a crazy question. So have any of you out there in the audience ever found yourself hoping instead of doing? I know I have.
Yeah.
I have found myself trapped in a cycle. I wasn't really trapped because I got out of it, but I found myself practicing a cycle of the fantastic hope instead of committing to the daily discipline of effort and work and creation. I was in this cycle of hope, and what it created in me was this victim's narrative. It created the potential and the possibility of me to be able to sell the idea that I'm a victim of everyone and everything around me, and it helped me stay away from the responsibility of the truth.
Wow.
And the mask and lie of hope is so deadly if it's allowed to progress in that direction.
Yes.
And I want to challenge all of you to ask yourself that question. You don't have to expose it on here like I did. You don't have to admit it, but admit it to yourself and guard yourself from that lie, because I promise you it will lead you to one place, and that is destruction.
Yes.
It will not benefit you to go down that path, and it won't benefit anyone around you. And it definitely won't create a lasting legacy of growth
Right.
in your life.
Right.
And you who says, LOL, the disciples didn't go around hoping for change. That's right.
That's right.
They were working to bring the gospel to
worked.
others. And they did it so much to the point that they risked life and limb
Absolutely.
and
Right.
lost.
They did. A lot of them were incarcerated for the rest of their lives. They were tortured. They paid heavy prices for what they believed, and but they were definitely disciplined people. Absolutely, good points. Thank you.
Yeah, and you might say, well, was it worth it? Well, I mean, we're still talking about it
That's right.
a couple thousand years
That's right.
later, and we're still talking about the legacy that they
That's right.
created that was to them worth the ultimate sacrifice.
That's right.
So
And
it was effective.
and it is still the difference maker in this world today.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
And so they learned to live without those comforts. They were not comfortable, and they lived in truth. And that's often hard for people. How many times have folks told you the truth and you're like, man, that's hard, but I need to hear that.
right. That truth don't feel good.
That truth don't feel
That
good.
truth don't make me feel good.
Not at all. Not at all.
So, Dreamer, thanks for joining the show. It's good to see you today. We're talking about the difference in hope versus discipline and how the two opposite, the way we're using them today, the two words are opposing each other,
Right.
and how the two words can affect your life. Living in a state of hope doesn't create anything,
Yes.
but living in a state of committed, disciplined action has the power to create and change everything, anything. So 1970 Chevelle S, it's good to see you today. Thanks for joining the show. And I do want to send another thank you out to my two kids that joined the show today, Peyton and Bo. I love you both, and I'm proud of you. And I really do appreciate you guys being out there just doing what you do. Andre joined the show. Thanks. Good to see you, Andre. So anyway, we'll work towards the close of our show.
Okay.
But what I would like to do is really, as far as a call to action, I would challenge you all to guard yourselves, guard your minds. We talk a lot about how our language affects our thoughts and reinforces our thoughts and creates these patterns and habits. And eventually it creates the world you live in.
Right.
And it's so simple
Right.
to guard your mouth, to guard your mind.
That's right.
I know,
Scripture says, guard your heart because it's the wellspring of life. So that's how we do it. It's exactly the way Rob is. Be careful what you accept as a truth, meaning I'm owed, or I'm a victim, or why is this happening to me? Now I'm perverting my heart. But if I think more in terms of why is this happening for me? Yes, it hurts, but what will I learn from this? Those sorts of things. Now the wellspring is starting to flow.
that's right. You know, Yoo-Hoo just brought up a great analogy.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I'm going to read that out. It says, it makes me think of a scratch off, like a scratch off lottery ticket.
Yeah.
The win as change, and the hope factor is real. The factor of thinking that I'm hoping for this. And then they say discipline isn't a quick win. That's so good. That's so
Yes, it
true.
is.
Because no matter what happens on that scratch off, it was based on hope. And what you get from it is never going to bring real positive creative change. Even if you win the millions,
Yes,
you're probably going to end up worse off than you were at the beginning.
maybe.
Google Home, thanks for joining us today. Hello, it's good to see you. Let's see, Stephen Douglas, it's good to see you. We appreciate all of you joining us today. And the challenge as we leave today, and thank you all for being a part of the pursuit of our purpose and allowing us to be a part of yours. But the challenge is guard your mouth, guard your mind, guard your heart. Stay committed to creative action.
Yes.
Cause yourself to become a person of discipline, not a person of hope.
Right. Right. Not hope alone, for sure. Yeah. And because if you have discipline, then you can define what that hope is for.
That's right.
But if you're just sitting there hoping this and hoping that without any proactivity, you're going to develop a bitterness that is very difficult to shake. Rob was giving his own example earlier. It is very difficult. If you're in that state, let's work out of it. But if you can see what we're talking about, try not to get in it.
So Ethan, I'm not sure what Ethan's referring to. He says it looks big. And then Yoo-Hoo says, I'm recovering from total knee replacement. I've had a lot of time to think. LOL.
Did he say looks big?
I don't know
He's
what.
talking about my arms, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're big swole.
Or maybe this big head, this big ego. That's what it was.
Maybe it was the big shine off your forehead.
It is the big shine. I got the lights going here, man. This is, yeah.
But either way it goes, Yoo-Hoo, we'll be in prayer for you about your recovery from your knee replacement.
Yes.
And just using your knee as an example, you can't hope your knee into recovery. It takes discipline, effort,
That's
pain,
right.
and commitment to that in order for you to be able to walk properly again.
That's it.
So thank you for joining us today. We will see you guys next week, next Tuesday, same time, same place, here for another live episode of the What Are We Doing podcast here at Pursuit of Purpose.
Yep.
I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
Y'all have a wonderful day. Be blessed, and we will talk soon.
Thank you.
Question everything in pursuit of your